All right, so part 2 of homework question number 10, multiplying functions. So let's get some functions. I don't know why I put parentheses around it. So I have f of x equals 3x minus 1 and g of x equals 2x minus 4 as my two functions. And a little bit of notation. Multiplying them together, f of x times g of x is the same as f times g of x, just the two functions together. A third way that you can see this written would be f dot g of x. Okay? These x's that are just hanging out on the side, remember this is part of your notation. You are not multiplying by this x. Do not multiply. Okay? This is simply part of your notation. This is telling you what gets plugged into your function. So if there's a number there, you're going to plug that number into your function. Right? So this is just part of our notation. And all three of these things mean the same thing. I'm just multiplying my two functions together. Notice this third notation. There's simply a dot in between f and g. All right? It's very important to notice that is a dot. Our next operation we'll look at will have a circle. Dot and circle are two different things. Okay? So dot indicates multiplication. F dot g means f times g. So looking at this example, it's something that you've done now several times in any math class that you've taken. So I want to do f times g of x. So I'm just simply going to take f, which is 3x minus 1, and I already put it in parentheses, times g, which is 2x minus 4, in parentheses, and I want to multiply these two together. So I'll take the first term in the first set of parentheses and multiply it times everything in the second set of parentheses. So I'm going to do 3x times 2x, and then 3x times negative 4. So 3x times 2x gives me 6x squared. 3x times negative 4 gives me negative 12x. I'm done with the 3x, so I'll go to the next term in the first set of parentheses and multiply it times everything in the second set of parentheses. So negative 1 times 2x gives me negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative 4 gives me positive 4. And I'll go through and combine my like terms. X squared, I don't have any other x squared, so 6x squared just comes down. I have a negative 12x and a negative 2x. Those are like terms. They have the same variable with the same exponent, so I get negative 14x. And my positive 4 has no other like terms, so it just gets written down. So there is the product of f times g. All right, notice where the x squared came from. This is x to the first power, x to the first power. When we multiply, dealing with exponents, we add our exponents together. Right? 1 plus 1 gives me 2, hence the 6x squared. All right, now this same process works the same exact way no matter how many terms I have in each of my functions. It still works the same exact way. So let's bump it up a little bit. And let's say I have f of x equals 2x to the fifth minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 4. And let's say g of x is x to the third plus 2x minus 1. So with multiplication, the order doesn't matter. Just like in regular numbers, the order does not matter. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 3 times 2 gives me 6 as well. So f times g is the same thing as g times f. All right, does not matter. And so I'm going to find g times f of x. And so I want to multiply all of g times all of f. So each term in my first set of parentheses will be multiplied or distributed to every term in the second set of parentheses. So starting with x cubed, I'm going to multiply x cubed times all 4 terms in the second set. So x cubed times 2x to the 5th gives me 2x to the 8th, because I'll just simply add my exponents, minus 3x to the 5th, plus 2x to the 4th, minus 4x to the 3rd. Now I'm done with the x cubed, so I'll move to 2x, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to multiply 2x times every term in the second set of parentheses. So I'll get positive 4x to the 6th, minus 6x to the 3rd, plus 4x squared, minus 8x. And finally, I have the negative 1, and I'll multiply the negative 1 times all 4 terms in the second set of parentheses. So I get negative 2x to the 5th, plus 3x squared, minus 2x, plus 4, squeeze it in at the end. That's a plus 4, right? Negative 1 times negative 4 gives me positive 4. And we'll go through now and see if I can clean this up a little bit by combining my like terms. So I'm going to start with the highest power. It's to the 8th. I don't have anything else that's x to the 8th, so I'll just bring it down to x to the 8th. Going through, the next highest is x to the 6th. I don't have any other terms that are x to the 6th, so I'll bring it down, plus 4x to the 6th. And I'll go ahead and just do a little cross out of the things I've already looked at so I don't lose my place. The next thing, x to the 5th. So I have negative 3x to the 5th and negative 2x to the 5th. Negative 3 minus 2 gives me negative 5x to the 5th. And I'll simply draw a line through those. I have now x to the 4th, right, just coming down. 2x to the 4th. It's the only term, so plus 2x to the 4th. X to the 3rd, I have a couple. Negative 4x to the 3rd, negative 6x to the 3rd. That's it. So combining those two, negative 4 minus 6 gives me negative 10x to the 3rd. X squared, I have a couple of those. 4x squared and positive 3x squared gives me positive 7x squared. Very good. Again, canceling those out. Coming down again, my x's, plain x's, negative 8x minus 2x gives me negative 10x. And lastly, my plain constant. I don't have any others, so it's just plus 4. There is my final answer to g times f.